Okay, shalom to everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about the temple of Elohim because many believe that the temple of Elohim will be built. The third temple, ang ilang ginahuna to build temple in Jerusalem. Here is the east, where the sun is rising is the east. So the temple of Elohim, what is the temple of Elohim? Many times, many have not seen this what is written in the scripture. Seldom who see that because people see only look at in the natural eyes and in the fleshy eyes. Somebody told me this expression, fleshy eyes. So this is in the natural eyes is what many look at it in their eyes, but not so the Torah. The Torah is spiritual. We have to know that the Torah is spiritual. It is written in somewhere. So now I want to akong i-explain nga ang the difference of the temple from the tabernacle in the wilderness, because we have to always refer to the Torah, whatever in the Brit Kadasha, because that is where we filter all the doctrines, if it is right or wrong. You have to check there because that is the foundation of the pre-faith, the gospel of Mashiach, the fulfillment of Mashiach. We have always to look at there because he is the one, the living Torah of Elohim. He has to fulfill that, what is written in the Torah. And it is here it is written. And he said to them, to whom he has said. So we have to look the context to whom he said. So 44, by the context. These are the words which I spoke to you while I was still with you. Which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all to be filled, that were written in the Torah, will fulfill in the Torah of Moshe and the prophets and the right things concerning me. This is Yeshua said that. It's not me. So if you want to understand, and for verse 45 he said, then he opened their minds to understand the scripture. The scripture this time is only from the Torah to the Tanakh. The Tanakh, this is the scripture before, because the renewed covenant or the Brit Kadasha was not yet written at this time. So he opened the understanding of their minds, disciples, concerning the scripture that is written on him. This why when we are talking about atong mga kuan mo nang sayon kayo i-recruit na mga tao nga wa magtudlo sa Torah, kay kung ikaw nagtudlo ka sa Torah, di na mahimong dili kagiyahan sa Elohim nga wa ka makasabot. Because if you dig, this is the seed, the parable of the seed. I have spoke to that other topic. The parable of the seed of the sower is the Torah. The Torah, what is sown in the field, and this is our heart. So if we begin to cultivate that in our life, to dig more the word in the Torah, then Elohim will open an understanding. Yeshua has, as he said here, then Yeshua, opened their minds to understand the scripture. So this is how we are opened our understanding if we study the Torah. But if we don't open it, we remain question mark, and we go to indifferent understanding, dogmas, mga doctrines of men, those who don't study the Torah. This is the only way, because Elohim, the word of Elohim is true. So now with the temple, people thinking, even the Jews believe with this temple will be built. We have to know that Yeshua already came. He already came, that the temple of because the Torah is spiritual. Our temple today is spiritual. You cannot see, but these are built by people. Israel is not the land there. It's not the land there. Israel is people. People. Now, in the wilderness, the tabernacle was Elohim. You see that now why I'm speaking with this temple now, because we have to understand that we are on the way to the promised land. When we are on the way, to the guidance of the Ruah, at this time, Moshe was their guide to come to the promised land. But he was not able to enter because there was problem. He rebuilt himself and he didn't listen to Elohim. And it was one mistake and he was not enter the land. So now in our time, but we have to speak though, in the wilderness, they built the tabernacle there, complete from the outside. I have spoke this in the, I will quote where I spoke about this tabernacle in the wilderness. I'm talking about this, so if you want to follow that, you can go there to watch that. I post that in the YouTube, my channel, so you can watch what is this temple in the wilderness, how it is been fulfilled in the time of Yeshua. So now this one is only shortcut for me, because we have to know the tabernacle in the wilderness. This is how Elohim will keep his people, by only the guidance from him, because the children of Israel already left Egypt. They already left Egypt. So they left Egypt, they on the way keeping the Shabbat, and then keeping the Pesach, the Passover, and then go through to the Sinai to receive the Torah. You have to follow this pattern, because this is the pattern of salvation until we come to the promised land. This is what Yeshua will fulfill. So now when Yeshua came for his first coming, he has building this temple already. He built, and this is called the body of Mashiach today in our time. If you remember what he said we're gonna read together para di ko masayop. Here we're gonna read in John 2:19. Yeshua answered and said to them. So you see chapter John 2:19. Yeshua answered and said unto them, to his disciple, the Yehudim, that is his first disciple are the Yehudim. So he said to them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then he said to the Yehudim, then said the Jews, the Yehudim said to Yeshua, 46 years was this temple, 46 years, this temple, katong temple, the second temple, at the time of Yeshua, and will thou rear it up in 3 days? Question sila. Ingon sila. O, kining nga templo, ang pagtukod ani is 42 years. Unya, sa ikaw, in 3 days lang, imo lang erase up in 3 days. You see, you have to see that the behind, because this is in 3 days, he will have to raise this temple of Elohim. But does he speak the temple of his body? The temple today is the body of Mashiach, who's joining together by the stones. It is written. Do I have to speak again that we are the temple of Elohim, as Shaul said. Okay. 1 Corinthians 6:19. I always have to quote verses because I don't want to speak on my own. We have to speak what is written, because mahimot ang bakakon mo hisgot pa dili iyang base. So there's many interpretations. That's why I said our body is the temple of Elohim. Elohim is not dwelling in all those building assembly. It's good to gather, but the gathering at this time, it is always in the house. Why? Because all this building today nga gibuilt nga mga sukod congregation and assembly is naka-connected sa yutan-on. They have to register that in the government. And I know that they will quote this verse that you have to follow the government. I have spoken with that in the other video concerning this government, that the Christian quote that we have to obey the government. I'm sorry, because that is not the kingdom, the government of Elohim. So now we have to stick for this temple. As I said, the temple of Elohim is not built on these buildings. There is no Kadosh place because you have to know the temple of Elohim you cannot replace by your own temple, building your own pillars of rules of regulation. You are doing the same like the brethren Yehudim at this time of Yeshua. Ano may gibuhat ni this time mga Pharisee, mga Sadducee? They have rules in their synagogues. And you cannot enter that. But the temple as Yeshua has been built, when this is what happened when he is resurrected. The temple of Elohim is perfectly established when Yeshua was resurrected. This is why he said in John 2:19 that he's talking of the body of Mashiach. He is our high priest. Now you have to know, because if you go in this place, you're making your own, again the same, you're copying paste what is from the second, from the last 2,000 years. Where Yeshua, you're rebuking when all this temple there, all this synagogue there. He's rebuking because they're building their own regulation, and this is what? The temple of Yeshua today, the body of Messiah, is free. Everyone, only Elohim can know who is joining of that. But you have to know the requirements of that. You can see that in the wilderness, the tabernacle, how it is been established, has been built up. Because that is what Yeshua fulfilled. This is why when we enter in the Shabbat, is Kadosh. Kadosh. During the Shabbat, we are coming together. You know, I will show you with this. If you see that, the pattern in the wilderness, today, the Jew keep also the Shabbat. The Jew is not yet redeemed. You have to know that they are not yet redeemed because they have no Mashiach today. They are waiting for Mashiach. Now, where is the position of Judah today? Those who do not accept Mashiach, because there are few who accept already Mashiach. They are not entering on the holy place. In this holy place, he's not entering there because inside that it is. You must be in the body of Mashiach. You have to accept Mashiach, Yeshua Messiah, in order. How do you enter with that? The pillars, there's 5 pillars only in this holy place, the tabernacle. Holy place and the holy of holy. There's only pillars. What is the pillars there? Because now they make their own pillars of doctrine. They will tell you that in their congregation, this is the pillars of doctrines. We believe that, so and so, so and so. Not so. The temple of Elohim, if you want to enter there, it is spiritually. Because our sacrifice of lips, this is what we are received as a sweet aroma unto Elohim. So now, this is about our life. It is about our life, how we walk on this earth. And now, when you enter this second gate, which is the pillar, there is 5 pillars. You have to see the pillars there. 5 is the 5 books of Moshe. That is the pillar of our faith. And we have to study there. This is why the Jew, we have always this. They always have the Parsha, the Torah portion every week. But they don't have Mashiach. But this is what Shaul said. Do not boast yourself, because when the days, it is the reason for their fall, that the old world will be rich on him. So this way we don't have to criticize the Jew, because they are waiting for the redemption. When the Melo HaGoyim, the fullness of the Goyim, the fullness of the Gentile, as Shaul said, then the fullness of the Gentiles, then Judah will be redeemed by Mashiach. Mashiach will come back, redeemed by Mashiach, and Yeshua will come back to in Zion. This is what written in Romans 11. So the pillar there, how do you enter there? This is Kadosh, this is not 4. This is why when we keep the Shabbat, It is a gathering for all the children of Israel. It's very kadosh. It's better you don't keep the Shabbat because you cannot mix with that. It's kadosh in the holy place. You will be like this sons of Aaron who bring a strange fire there. You will be you're deadly spiritually if you do that. So it's better you keep the sun that you cannot, because this is not to mix with the people from the world. It is only for the people of Elohim who are being called and perform the duty as a priest. This is what Shaul said. You are the chosen generation, a royal priesthood of Elohim. And that is your job. That is the job of Israelites to enter into this place. Judah cannot enter in this place, in the holy place. Why? Because they don't have Mashiach. They don't have Mashiach. They have to come to Mashiach. They are still outside of the tabernacle. Outside. You see the outside there? The four corners there? They are there. They are still exiled. But it doesn't mean that Elohim is not with them. They have Elohim. They are in the wilderness. This is how we picture out the world today we have. And those in Mashiach, this is a very beautiful fulfillment in Yeshua. You can enter there. This is Kadosh. This is why we don't, if you read in the Isaiah, let's look. It's very important. Sometimes, because of our flesh, we filled. And then we wash again. You know, before the holy place, there's a big basin there. We have the priest there, is what they're doing. They're having the ritual of washing, cleansing their feet like that. They have ritual washing. All. It is also the same for us. We have to pray and ask for forgiveness, cleansing in all what is our filthiness. Our mga, impurities in life, what is bound from these earthly things. Nga nakabound ta, na-entangle ta, what we are doing, we have to ask forgiveness for that before we can enter to the holy place. The holy place, there is the menorah, the light. As Yeshua said, I am the light of the world. And we have the showbread. What does Yeshua said? I am the bread of life. Two breads there, written inside the holy place. Two bread. That is representing the house of Israel and the house of Judah. But don't say that all Judah that they don't believe Mashiach. There are many who come now receive Mashiach. Mashiach in there are many now, but majority are still in exile. But we are in one. This is what Shaul's doctrine. And this is from the Torah. It is Kadosh. So now when you enter that is you perform 24 hours when you are doing the Shabbat. We are 24 hours to set apart your play. We have to set apart ourselves. So what I can say for those who cannot. So that's another story. Elohim is not so to beat us because you don't keep the Shabbat. Elohim is waiting for people who have a humble heart to ask for forgiveness, because it is a matter of relationship, your communication through Yehovah Elohim. That is the way. So Elohim is not so, but what is written there. So we come to the holy place. You see there, the holy place is in the middle there. The middle holy place. This is only the priest can enter there. The priest of Aaron. Now, as Shaul said, we are the royal priesthood of Elohim. Because there is no gender when you are in the heavenly places. How does they perform their duty there? The sacrifice. So what is the sacrifice today in our time? We're gonna read. So, we're gonna read in Hebrew 13:15. Okay? Let's read. You see, Yeshua come. We are bought with the blood of the Lamb. He is the one who sacrificed. Because the difference between Mashiach and the wilderness, Moshe was there. Moshe, it is a physical redemption there. What we have now is This is a great hope really in Mashiach, because the fix there is, as a priest, as Shaul said, that you are the royal priesthood, the chosen generation of Elohim. When the priests from the wilderness, when they come into the holy of place, how they perform their duty to light the menorah for 24 hours. It must be light. This is why this is also related to the parable of the 10 virgins, the 5 foolish and the 5 wise. Because we as a priest, you have to burn your 24 hours. It must be that in our life is also Elohim, the Torah of Elohim must be burning in us, Kadosh people. Because this place, where the holy place, you cannot enter there. Only the priest. So now in the time of Yeshua, as a temple, as a body of Yeshua, is also Kadosh. This is a spiritual person. Every one of us, our body, our sacrifice of praise, as the fruits, sacrifice of praise, our lips, praying unto Elohim, is what is required for this Kadosh kingdom, the Kadosh throne of Elohim. And this is the place there. We have to see that in the spiritual understanding and not in the physical temple. Because this is not a work. There's no temple anymore. The temple, as we read in New Hanan in John 2:19, that he is saying his temple, the temple which is his body. The tabernacle is a perfect body of Mashiach. And today, many look at that in the natural eyes. But it's not so. We are in the heavenly, the Jerusalem above. This is why Shaul called this Jerusalem above. Why? What is in Jerusalem? What was the time? It's a time of David. The perfect ruling of kingdom of Elohim. King David, where the whole house of Israel is gathered together. So that was the physical. Now we are in spiritual. Yeshua is our high priest. So this is very kadosh in this place when we perform our duty as a priest, because that